What is going on, guys? Big Rock coming at you with the NFL Let's Watch Week 13 Monday Night Football matchup between the New England Patriots and the Buffalo Bills. How you guys all doing tonight? What's going on, Josh? That guy should be joining us very shortly. And I'm multitasking here on this side, so I'll be in and out. But most importantly, let me pull up the market data for this game and see if there's any value on either side. I've already down on the Pats money line at plus 139. Let's see where it's sitting right now. Looks like they're down to plus 129, so I got a little bit of closing line value there, which is nice. I will take it. And let's take a look at the market. So Pats have 52% of spread bets, 66% of the money, 57% of bets have been placed on the over, 40% of the money on the over, 45% of bets on Pats money line, and the money is 50-50. I said all that and everything just switched, so let me get the most up-to-date numbers. All right, 463. Everything, all the market indicators point towards the Pats and the under. Let's see, still waiting on Fat Guy. Zaps, weather is going to make this game really interesting. Almost want to take an over 39.5 with the total just crashing. How about that snow in BC? Yeah, no kidding, Seahawks fan. I got to go out and buy a shovel. What's going on, Mud? How you doing tonight? I'm all the market indicators are telling me to take the under, so I know I'm getting the worst of this line, but I think I've just been a slave to my market numbers this year. And I think I'm going to do it. The over-under's 40. Juice on the under's minus 101, so I'll jump on that as well. 13. New England, Buffalo. Under 40, minus 101. And then I got the Pats money line at 139 earlier. Tony's on the over 40. Good luck, Tony. When are you guys gonna put up the week 14 ATS video? We just recorded it before going live, and it's gonna be up soon. It's just about how long it takes YouTube to get everything loaded up, but I'm gonna get that started right now as we speak. Mud's on the Pats plus 3. Yeah, every market indicator is on the Pats and the under. Ooh, interesting. Mud's also on first touchdown for the defenses, Mac Jones and Josh Allen. Zaps is on the Bills minus 2.5, minus 114. Is the line down to 2.5, or did you tease it down? Oh yeah, it's teetering. It's still 3 at Pinnacle, but it's very, very close. Right now, that Bills minus 2.5 is a good price. At Pinnacle, it's minus 118, so a little bit of value there, which is good. I love. These are my favorite games. This is why I love the NFL. It's just the wild weather games. Like, makes it so much more fun. And the later in the year, it always gets there. The weather always starts getting a little bit crazier. I'm hoping Fat Guy jumps on pretty quick because I'm gonna be pretty boring because I'm working on getting this this video out. But I am very excited for this game to start, and we're only 6 minutes away from kickoff, so this game should be going on pretty quick. Mickey in the Discord.
Blockbuster matchup.
Oh wow. 34 degrees Fahrenheit, 24-mile-an-hour winds, mostly cloudy, flurries, wind gusts up to 46 miles an hour. Oh. I'm just watching some of the pregame stuff. Is that Randy Moss trying to make a catch? This game is going to be all on the ground. If this is like just before kickoff, this is crazy. Let me, I might as well pull up the game because we're going to be starting in 4 minutes. Longest kick prop was OU 47.5. That's basically a free square. Yeah, as long as the weather is supposed to stay like this, I don't even think either team's going to attempt something from 47. Like maybe if it's like the last second of the game and they're down by 1 or 2 or tie. Probably the most likely is if it's a tie game with like that much time left, but let's pull this game up. Hopefully we can see some of the weather. I actually have the Buffalo kicker in fantasy, so that's not going to be good. And what's interesting is the Patriots really love kicking field goals when they get down. So, or like get like by down, I mean down close to the goal line. I don't think they love kicking field goals, but they're very quick to kick field goals over going for it. Seahawks fan said, "Is this the weirdest year in NFL history? Bad teams win, good teams lose, and every week is chaos. Nobody should be a Super Bowl favorite right now. It's up in the air." You know what? The NFL's kind of like, it's just like that. I know we're used to seeing like some sort of, like there still are extremes. We still have Arizona at 10-2. There's still Detroit with 1 win, but for the most part, it's been an excellent season. And they added, it's only 1 game, but even adding 1 game makes a difference. Like when it comes to playoff stuff, because what are we at, week 13? So we still have 4 or 5 more games left. Even adding that 1 extra game, like it keeps more teams in the playoff run longer, which is something new to this season that we don't get. Doc said they were struggling with extra points, but then again, missing extra points is the cool thing to do. Yeah, it's definitely in vogue. I feel like a wildcard team is going to go to the Super Bowl this year. Any team can win. That's true. And the other thing, too, is home field advantage really isn't, like, it's starting to become less and less important. And it's definitely going to make for a fun playoffs. Because the closer all these games are, the better. It's going to be 5-star entertainment the entire way. We say that now and then watch every single favorite's going to win in the playoffs, and they're all going to win by 20-plus points.
Jumped into a nice spot here, it sounds like.
Yeah. Well, Seahawks fan asked, he said, "Is this the weirdest year in NFL history? Bad teams win, good teams lose. and every week is chaos. Nobody should be a Super Bowl favorite right now. It's up in the air in his opinion. And to me, it doesn't feel that much different than other years. The only thing I was saying though is he also talked about how he feels like a wild card team could win the Super Bowl.
More likely this year. That's a reasonable argument and interesting.
Yeah.
To be.
And I talked
be honest.
about home field advantage being like it's just becoming less and less important.
Your mic's a little crackly, big rye.
Is it okay? Let me make an adjustment and see if I can fix that.
Oh, Mickey Hill, how are we today? Sorry, let me make sure my Python thing's working, and we're good. We're good.
How am I sounding now? Is that better?
No, it's still crackly.
Okay, I'll disconnect for a minute, see if it helps.
Yeah. See if I can carry the load here. I like snow games. Like I like snow run low total. I like all that stuff. I'm not even set up to watch it. I technically am. I took some bets, so I have New England plus 2.5, New England money line, and I have under 41.
Mic check. Can you hear me? Mic check.
I think that sounds way better.
Okay,
I think.
Cool. Let me know, guys, if the microphone sounds bad.
Oh, it started cracking again. Shoot, it's not not as bad though.
Okay. I'll just monitor. Let me know if it's bad. I'll keep trying to. I don't know what else to do other than plug it in and plug it off. Zaps is on the over 39.5. I'm on the under 40. Josh Allen, I am, and the Pats money line. Doc D said same. It sounds fine on my side. Okay, cool, Josh.
It doesn't look that bad though. Like I guess the field's cleaned up quite a bit, but
yeah, we just saw some really, really interesting shots. It's always deceiving the TV camera angle because it's really hard to tell if it's even raining for the most part.
Yeah, it is.
So it looks like the Pats started with the ball, if I'm not mistaken. Opening kick landed 10 rows up.
Holy smokes.
I just saw a lot of fans in the background. It looked like they were wearing matching jackets.
He would have had a first down, I think.
It's I don't know. I'd have to see it again, but like is it windy enough where even a pitch is risky?
No, that's just a mess up.
He just didn't catch it. Is the wind gusting in like one specific direction?
I think so, probably if the one went 10 rows up.
Yeah, that punt was so low. And
we did. We did today, Jake. We're slow off the hop.
Yeah.
We had some technical things.
It's loading into YouTube right now. I'm just working on some of the details. Mickey
Dude, look
said
at
it's
the
coming
look at the
from the
towels on each player.
west. Okay. So the Pats are going into the wind. So this is like really where Buffalo needs to do their damage. And then they flip every quarter, right? So is it I think it's the first and fourth quarter, and then Pats will get it second and third quarter, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and what was I gonna say? I just realized there's an advantage here. First and fourth quarter, um, first and fourth quarter overs for Buffalo, and second and third quarter overs for the Pats. If it's a standardized in-game line, probably have value.
I love what Zaps just said. Whenever you can check to a pitch on 3rd and 5 and 30-mile-per-hour winds, you have to do it. Fak and I were talking about it last night, saying we'll put the picks video out today. Well, like, no one will even notice. We've already had, I think, 2 or 3 people ask. So
Yeah,
we appreciate the support, guys. It means a lot
Yeah.
to us.
my dad even asked. That's what I was planning on watching today. What he said.
What's going on, Don?
3 and out. You know what you could do here? There probably should be a math calculation here about the wind affecting a punt. And if a standard punt's going to go out of, out the back of the end zone, you could just take a bunch of delay of game penalties to like
Push
You know
yourself
what I mean?
back.
yeah, to try and get it in like a nice range. Like to make it easier on the punter. That might be a thing, right? So then the punter only has to kick full power every time.
Yeah.
Like that. Obviously then what am I taking credit for a bounce? So I'm like sitting in your underwear. I feel like I'm on OnlyFans sitting in my underwear in front of a bunch of people.
Jake Jacobs already trying to hit us with the name of the week before the pick video is even out.
Yeah.
Okay. This is what I want.
I just watched a commercial about an app and I just don't know what it does.
I find it very confusing when companies put out an ad and you don't know what it's for. There's a lot of like generic ones that like it really has nothing to do with the product at all. It's like
Yeah.
it's about the company, and it's like by the end you're just confused because it's just like generic like like people walking in meadows and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. This one's called Verbo. It's short for Vacation Rentals by Owner. And I'm just curious, like,
That's catchy.
so this started in. Oh, it launched in 1995. But then I guess it's revamped. I guess maybe you just don't quit. I mean, it's gonna be hard to compete with Airbnb though. Like, to be real, it rebranded in 2019. How are you gonna make money? I don't know, man. That's tough.
Mickey, I took the under and the money line. I didn't take the spread.
I got it all, Mickey. I took it in the behind really bad this weekend, boys. Like really bad.
Yeah, but how did you do on your bets?
Yeah. I was setting that one up.
Oh, thanks. Okay. This is like going to be one of those games where it's going to be like 2 turnovers. Like if If the Pats have 2 turnovers and Buffalo scores on them and it's 14-0, and then the Pats come out throwing, like, it could be really, really bad. I like how you can say, like, what I just said, like it means anything.
Yeah.
All right. Jacksonville.
How many pass attempts we've seen? 1? 0 from the Pats.
I haven't been watching, but I haven't seen one yet.
Oh, that went well, Mickey. That went very well on Friday. And Friday I was down like a bit to start, and then I finished strong. And then Saturday I crushed. So, like, it's still, you know, I've only lost 1 day in the last 8 of playing poker, so it's been pretty good. It just sucks when I'm like playing poker to lose as a bet taker. It's like tough lately, you know. Especially when you have the edge, right? But I mean, how often are a bunch of guys going to beat pinnacle lines over an elongated time? They're doing like, I took a couple like Bet365 in-game bets and lost those too. It was tough. I lost a lot of money on San Francisco. Greg Rousseau, is he a first or second round pick from Buffalo?
I'm not familiar with him.
I think he's a first round pick. That's a good play because he extended his arms so he could reach out. Who's blocking him? Henry? Yeah, Henry got beat.
The NFL's getting these Monday night games right. We get this game tonight. Rams at Arizona next week. It's terrific.
Those are good matchups. You have to kind of sidekick it, don't you? That only went 20 yards, right?
If you're going against the wind, there's like, you should be running the ball every play, or like screen, like the clock has to run. You have to cut down the number of plays when
That's a good
your
point.
face is in the wind. Which then from Buffalo's standpoint, wouldn't you want to extend the game by like
just passing?
Yeah, like or even like outside runs where you're trying to get out of bounds. Like, I don't know if that makes any sense, but Pittsburgh, Minnesota is I feel like it's such a weird game to be on a Thursday night.
Pittsburgh and Minnesota. Yeah, I guess that's true. I don't know. I think that's pretty good scheduling, to be honest.
Just feels like Thursday night games should be like divisional type matchups, or
Seahawks fan, I think you're underrating the win. I really do. Like, that punt was a pretty good example. I think the screens might be the way, though, like Big Rye said.
And also, I don't think it's Mac Jones's choice for the most part if he's going to throw or run.
Yeah, that's a good point. Sure is, Don. I'm wearing a Raiders hoodie that Big Rye's mom gave me, too.
Oakland or Las Vegas?
I don't know which one this one is. It just says Raiders football.
It's definitely Vegas.
It's what?
I said it's definitely Vegas.
No, it was bought in Vegas.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean it was.
Good
maybe,
point.
okay. Maybe it was the clean out before the Vegas merchandise.
Could have been.
Your mom's pretty savvy.
I just realized that you guys are going to be able to hear me editing, so that'll be fun. There's got to be a way I can like mute this.
I would prefer New England to win. Don? Nice play, Patriots D. Patriots D might be the best in the league too. So it's always impressive with them, considering like they don't exactly have the greatest personnel. Like Cleveland has a much better personnel than they do.
They don't ever, well, I shouldn't say they never. They rarely have star players, but it's because they like the versatility, like players that can do
they get it.
Lots of things. And when you
Jake
think about
Jacobs
that,
is on point here. Yeah, go ahead.
I said when you think about the like it, a lot of like superstars in the NFL, like on defense, are usually good at like they're really good at one thing, but they might be weak in other spots. Whereas the Pats, like I feel like they're trying to find players that are all around and much more versatile. Like I think they'd rather have a player that's more well-rounded than excellent at one or two things.
Jake's pretty much nailed right on the head about how you don't know what orientation the ball is going to be when you get it. Hopefully this is a... Oh, shoot. Can you kick a field goal here, though?
Well, they'll be able to attempt them into the wind. It's going to be pretty much impossible the other way.
It's about time they get a win. Yeah. There you go. You said that this would make you happy, Michigan. So there you go. You got what you wanted. You gotta revel in it a bit.
Fat Guy, just a teaser for the picks video. Fat Guy and I went on like a 7-minute rant during the Raiders Chiefs game. I don't even remember what we talked about, but it was
we were talking about Denver. Vic Fangio's choices were surprising and refreshing to us. It's our show. We can do whatever we want.
That was very grandiose of you.
They got it. Pat's got it.
Oh, did they go for it on 4th down or something like that? Or?
No, they got first down on that pass play.
Sorry, I don't even know who has the ball.
Pats got a Buffalo, got it on 3rd down, and then there was a fumble in the handoff.
Oh, to Matt Breida. This game, like, it really just comes down to basic execution.
Like that is a good way of putting this.
To hold on to the ball, like, that's just so killer. Like, I'm saying that, and the other team has the ball. It's not even going to be like.
Yeah, but I think the Pats have a good chance of scoring on offense.
Oh, okay.
Not this drive, but in the 2nd and 3rd quarter.
Yeah.
And like, don't forget, that's 2 possessions without points now for the Bills. Like that's an ouch.
It helps.
You know what I mean?
It hurts. Yeah. At least we think it's gonna hurt.
Yeah. Well, you can't kick a field goal, and you can't really throw it deep against the wind. How are you gonna convert a 3rd and long?
The thing that always has worried us about the Bills is just their inability to be able to run the ball, at least with their running backs.
Well, you and I like this game purely for like handicapping reasons.
Yeah.
Because there isn't samples of this game. Although there's a chance I'm going to be able to, by this summer, expand our database a little bit with some of the information that we're getting. We've made a special effort in the last 6 months to streamline, not even 4 months, streamline information and ideas to adhere to that. Has a good movie been made in the last few years?
I honestly can't remember the last movie that came out that I was excited to see. And like, I know
Yeah.
I'm not big into movies in general, so I'm not a good
No.
litmus test for that, but there hasn't been like an advert that made me want to go out and see a movie opening weekend.
Advertisement? You British now? Seahawks fan,
Apparently.
you actually touched on something that we spoke of in the video. Is it's 4.5 now? Is it a trap line? I feel like everyone in the world's going to bet on Pittsburgh at that spread.
Yeah.
Yeah. That totally feels like that totally is a possibility. We think it's weird. We think it smells funny. We totally do.
And I think we even still took Pittsburgh.
Yeah, well, because we're trying to get clothing line value, which somehow we aren't either.
Yeah.
That's right. But I did comment.
If it does get up to 4, because in the picks
yeah,
video
then
it's
just reverse
3.5.
lineman. Yeah.
Then you.
Then I like Minnesota, to be honest. Thielen being out sucks. Yeah, I'm not sure how much he affects the line too.
I think he affects the game, but it's pretty marginal. Like, it's a pretty small move. Like, it might not. I think it does still affect it, but it might not move the line as much as people think. Like, I could see him moving the game from 5.5 to 5, but like, it's not exactly a.
Aguilar just had an excellent run, considering he used his blocks effectively. He was able to get out of the way of at least one tackler. This is pretty good.
Does just a small sample of you guys, do any of you guys use the timestamps in the videos, like to flip forward to like a game or a certain matchup that we talk about? Because it always takes me a ton of time to figure out where all the timestamps are. I'm just curious if people actually use it.
Touchdown.
Touchdown who?
Damian Harris.
Oh, wow. Like a
big
long
run
touchdown
on 3rd
run?
and 5. This is going to be bad for the Bills. They got to go for it on 2, right?
I think so. What do you think the chances of hitting a 33-yard extra point is right now?
Less than converting a 2-point conversion. Bolden got in.
So it's 8-0. Did you say Bolden?
Yeah.
Oh, Brandon Bolden. I was thinking Anquan Bolden for some strange reason.
What? Your head's spaced out.
Yeah, I'm a guy. I can't multitask.
Yeah. I used to be able to. I can't anymore.
Yeah, Mud. It's obviously like the first time you watch. If you care about like the entire show, like you're not gonna care. But I guess if you do want to go back and just find like one point that we made, I'm sure it's useful. Helps you from having to click back on every single minute to find what game it was.
That's a pretty big win for the Pats to get a score here.
Yeah, in the quarter where they didn't have the wind.
Yeah,
it's very big. Like maybe we're just making more of it than it is, but I don't know. I've played.
You can't kick. It's hard to get points.
Yeah, like Fat and I didn't get to play football, but we got to play soccer, and I'm sure you played in a game like that. And in soccer, it was a very big deal. It
Hold
made
on
it
one
incredibly hard to play against the wind.
I'll be back momentarily.
Sounds good. I almost have the picks video ready to go, guys. Not that you guys are going to be watching it during the this game, but at least it'll be out for your viewing pleasure whenever you want to watch it. Yeah, I just sent out the uploaded that video. So thanks for having the bell on. How do you drop the picks video while you're live? I just did. It's like Fat Guy and I recorded at like, I don't know, 4 hours ago. So it takes about 4 hours to, like, once we finish recording, to actually get it uploaded onto YouTube. It takes forever for it to actually save, because I use Adobe Premiere Pro to like edit the video, and then that takes like 45 minutes usually to kind of like export that once it's done, and then it takes like another half an hour, 45 minutes with YouTube. So it ends up taking like 2 hours after we record to even post it. Plus all the other little intricacies, like getting all the details on the video, you know, setting up the timestamps for each one of the games. But it's because the simple answer is because we pre-recorded. I played pickup football with Jacob Johnson once. Super cool, dude. I don't know who Jacob Johnson is. I'm guessing he's a player who's probably playing right now, the fullback. Oh, the guy from Germany? That must have been interesting. Third and 7. They're throwing the ball here. It looks like a hold on Buffalo. Stephon Diggs with a huge catch here. But it's probably coming back, so that's a really this is one of those games where penalties mean so much. Even 5 yards makes it so much tougher if you have to run the ball as much as they're going to. Did they get a low block on Singletary? Third and 17, so that was a 10-yard penalty. This is one of those games where it's so much fun to be on defense and just not a lot of fun for a skill position player. I'm almost surprised that wasn't called roughing the passer. Oh boy. Oh, they're calling it Pat's ball. That that didn't look good. So N'Keal Harry, he didn't touch it there or there. I don't know what he's doing though. Oh, it did touch him. It touched his helmet. That's going to be Bill's ball if they're able to challenge. The Pats better run to the line and get a playoff quick. Oh, man. Yeah, it definitely touches his helmet. Like, the ball trajectory changed. But what's going on here? Are they reviewing it? That's like, that camera work was unreal. That's the only angle that you could see that. Because live, it didn't look like it touched him anywhere. Or at least on the first replay. I don't know what the heck he was doing so close to the ball there. What a break for the Bills. But it's like I said earlier, it's really like which team's going to make less mistakes today. That's really going to be the only way to benefit this. This is very interesting, like talking about using the win to your advantage. Like the Bills need to make as much as they can of this first. I wouldn't even be surprised if we see one of the teams use their timeouts like at the end of this quarter or the end of the third quarter just to give themselves, you know, a couple extra plays with the wind. Touchdown. What a huge turn of events for the Bills. It keeps this game really exciting. What's interesting too here is, do they go for 2 or do they kick the extra point? What a huge completion here for Allen. That's where his arm strength really, really can make a difference. That was an excellent touchdown. Oh, Davis like barely made the catch too. Well, they're going for this extra point. And he got it. You could tell that ball was traveling like really, really fast once it started moving.
So how'd they get a really short field, Buffalo?
Buffalo took a penalty, and it was 3rd and 17. They didn't convert. They punted, and it slightly grazed N'Keal Harry's helmet as the returner. And then Buffalo scored on their first play after the special teams mistake.
This is how it hurts. This is how the OU gets obliterated with stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, that's it, right? Like
exposure on the over.
It's just what's the line that you ended up getting?
41 even.
Okay. That's pretty good. Or that's better than what it was at close.
And I got it even money.
I can safely
Jacobs played pickup football with Jakob Janssen. Wow.
Yeah. Now Mickey's pissed he didn't take the over. What's let me take a look at what the live OU is. Live OU is 45.5, so not looking good for us on the under. Dylan already made his picks for next week. That guy he doesn't mess around with his picks.
He's impressive with that. Like, he doesn't care about getting the best line. Like,
no. It's about the gusto.
hi, Dylan. Yeah. County team is 7.5 point favorites over anybody. Well, there's some few bad teams, so.
Well, it's funny, right? Like, even if Seattle's that bad, like you still have Russell Wilson as your quarterback.
It's always the
There's teams that have worse rosters and quarterbacks that are not nearly the same.
yet to throw yet the Pats. Wow, what a catch! Is that Jonnu Smith? Yeah, it is. What a catch! Wow. Big Rise, he's doing the description for the video picks video.
Yeah,
It's gonna come out after the game probably.
I put the video out, and right now I'm just doing
Updating
the form
details
for the
Google form, yeah.
the pick for people making their picks.
I like how the master for leaderboard gets really slow at the end of the year.
Like participation.
No, the sheet just slows down because there's so much more data in it.
Oh yeah. You can probably tell by the score, but the Bills elected to kick the extra point with the wind at their back, and it was straight down. Like you could tell, like it was wobbly, but that ball looked like it was like coming twice as fast as it usually would, like with that extra wind behind it. And someone mentioned earlier that the OU for longest field goal was like 47.5 yards, and it's not going to be easy to kick 148 or longer, but like distance won't be a problem as long as you have like a 45-mile-an-hour wind behind you.
Yeah. Letterman about to come on with the Mannings. Interesting.
Yeah, we had an OU on the length of his beard. What do you think in inches?
I don't know. When's the last time we saw him?
He was on Norm's show on Netflix, I believe. I don't know if
that's the last time.
I feel like I saw him one more time since then, but I can't remember where. So. Yeah, Mickey set his at 9.5. You like the O or the U?
I'll take the U on that.
Take the under on a 9.5-inch beard.
I feel like beers stagnate a lot.
Yeah, they can. The dentist, the most interesting man in the world, is my favorite name of the week ever.
Yeah,
that made me laugh. Yeah, it's. I was laughing when I saw it too. We even had more talk and more debate about it.
We did. We actually did.
Seahawks fan, I guess the female dentist I have is really a man.
There's a high likelihood.
Guess I can put this over here. I'm actually disappointed I'm missing out a lot of this game. I'm actually interested in watching what
Well, you
these
can put
teams
it
are
in,
doing.
Seahawks fan. That's the beauty of it. It's strange how we have more people that are local than I thought. Like, there's some names that hint at it, like no more atmospheric rivers. No one outside of where we live would have heard that term.
I have a feeling that YouTube like prioritizes like content that's closer to you
It might.
geographically. Nice conversion on 3rd and 4.
I know a guy who wears it all the time. To be honest, like it's in his 1 week rotation. I don't know. It's I don't know what the omen is. Like, are you just like well, I don't know what message it sends. I don't.
Like, don't wear it to like your friends' weddings, but you know, it's
Wedding? How hillbilly are you? You've never seen a jersey at a wedding.
I don't know.
You've never been to a wedding where there was someone that wasn't wearing a suit.
I'm sure I've seen someone not in a suit, but I don't think I've ever seen someone in
jeans. Have you ever seen someone in jeans at a wedding?
I don't think so. You know, maybe there's the one guy who's trying to get divorced and shows up in jeans, but
yeah. That's a good way of doing it. I love that when they turn their back and like kind of run backwards, you know what I mean? A little bit.
yeah, that spin can get you like an extra yard and a half pretty consistently, and also you probably take less damage unless you take the second hit while spinning. Then it's like,
Yeah.
then it was a mistake.
Man, look at 77. That's got to be Trent Brown. That guy's huge.
I also like what Mickey said. That as long as your companion wears an OJ one, then it's acceptable. What was the didn't I remember there was a meme for a while. I think there was like a Ray Caruth, Aaron Hernandez, OJ Simpson, like got three of the guys at the bar. They're all wearing one each.
Oh yeah.
But like at that point, like it's funny, right?
What about Lawrence Phillips?
I don't know who that is, and I don't know if I want to know.
He might be the worst at all of them. Ray Caruth is actually the worst. Sorry. Ray Caruth is the worst.
Folk is good.
Okay, so in the South, apparently jeans at a wedding aren't rare. Okay, I've been to a couple. There's like the town Big Rye lives in is a little bit like, I don't know, the Texas Safari area, if you could call it that. And there are like farms and stuff. So I have seen, actually, maybe my sister's wedding, 'cause it was at a farm. Anyways, but sorry, Angel's jersey and jeans to your wedding.
That's pretty good.
Tony, who is this person? I want to know. That's like Hall of Fame level. The Self-Inflicted Wound Club, JPP and Plaxico Burress. Yeah, that's true.
The Plaxico one is like, it's bad enough to shoot yourself, but then to like essentially lose your entire career.
Well,
like,
if you want to go really dirty with that one, you go Travis Henry.
I don't know that story either.
He fell out of a truck or an ATV or something. Receiver Bengals died.
That's sad. I just remember thinking like, you shoot yourself in the leg and you're the one that gets in trouble. Like outside of just the pain of being shot in the leg, it's.
Oh, he was a running back. He was my ex-wife's cousin. Oh, I didn't know this.
That's so good.
Travis Henry was a cocaine trafficker. Huh.
Oh, the more you know.
He had 11 children by 10 different women. Man, a personal life sanction.
I'm trying to think I can't even remember the last time I went to Ladner.
Oh, he's still alive. Maybe it wasn't Travis Henry. Wow. Oh, he's just in jail for cocaine trafficking. Who was the Bengal that died? There's that guy Sergio Kindle who slipped in the bathroom and cracked his skull. He was a second-round pick for the Ravens 12 years ago.
That's sad.
Yeah, and he didn't die, but he had to retire. Which, God, that really sucks. He didn't even get to practice. He just got drafted. Man, this is wild.
Well, I know it's something that we saw and found very interesting. I know you were interested. Me, not as much. But there's an NFL API where you could find like criminal history on players, which it's not my cup of tea, but it's still interesting.
Oh, Sergio Kindle did play. Holy smokes. I thought he just retired. He came back 18 months after it. I'm off on 0 for 2 today. It's a weird look for the Bills, eh? This is pretty ominous to be down at this point. They got 2 quarters of this.
Yeah, I think I'm going to be able to wrap this up pretty quickly. So,
Hightower. Such a great name for like a linebacker. What a pass, man. Dude, he put that's how you have to do it then, short, eh? You got to zip it in there, eh?
well, it's on his on the touchdown throw. It was like a 12. It was one of those ones where like the receiver ran like 7 yards and then did the slant, and
Yeah.
like that was the throw that Josh Allen. It's the same throw he just made. Like you got to keep it low and it's just got to be short and quick. Like he's lucky because he's got the arm talent to be able to do that. Not this isn't a game for Chad Pennington.
No. I always like Chad Pennington though. Oh man. Holy how did Allen like stay on his feet after that first pop?
I don't know, but it was one of those ones where it was like sneaky that he might have still been able to keep going.
If I'm able to hit the under, I want to celebrate with Tony Meatball's ex-wife's cousin. That's gotta be that deserves to make a movie. That the guy who does that, at least part of a character.
Nice for the Bills here. Going to be 3rd and short again. Again, we get to steal the signatures for Lewis Riddick, Brian Greasy, and Steve Levy, sorry. Keeping it fun and flirty, Steve Levy. Big Rye, you think you can find field level weather data for NFL games? Sure enough, bet this over because he said field level weather won't be as bad at Bills Stadium. Wow, that's incredibly knowledgeable to be able to find something like that.
There, I know where it is. More than likely, airports. I read about this once.
But would the airports know? Like,
I think so, because for taking off.
well, it's one thing at the airport. It's like every single one of these outdoor stadiums is built a little bit differently. So what he's trying to say is, depending on how the stadium's built, there's going to be different weather conditions at field level.
I thought it would be, I guess, the surrounding. Yeah, I guess you're right then.
By how both teams have called this game, it feels like the weather is still impacting it. Maybe not as much as like the weather like that we thought, but it's still tough. Like, I don't have the numbers in front of me on like rushing versus passing.
You might need someone in the stadium to do any of that stuff, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, delay a game. That might be a big penalty, actually.
Yeah, they had a penalty earlier. Like, penalties in this game mean so much. Like, so much more than normally.
Imagine getting a 15-yard penalty.
Oh, just a killer.
Yeah, a total killer.
The nice part, Mickey, is like, I don't even know how many outdoor stadiums there are, but even then, like, there's only a handful that you really need to know.
Yeah, probably Heinz, Bills Stadium, Seattle, Denver. Nice big sack.
I always feel like the crazy weather games are in New England and Buffalo. Like, those are the two that really...
Yeah.
And Green Bay is another one.
Green Bay, yeah. Christian Barmore is a big boy. Oh, it wasn't even him. He was getting doubled. Lambeau, yeah. Foxborough. Yeah, that's probably it, though. Chicago, yeah, Soldier Field. Good one, Mud.
Yeah, Chicago's a really good one.
What about Minnesota? That was an incredible play from the secondary.
I want to see this replay because you feel like in a normal weather game, this would have been a catch. Or like on most... Because I can't tell if he caught that, and it's a little bit of both, right? Like, it's... The ball's coming in at a weird angle. and
that was awesome. Play. That was awesome. That's hard to do, man. The timing on that. Whew.
New England doing the smart thing by not trying to field punts, considering how it went for them earlier. Yeah. Josh Allen posted something awesome on our Discord. It's of a dog taking a deuce on the Flyers logo. Perfectly sums up their season.
Why are there dogs on the ice?
Well, that's pretty funny to start with. It's like cop stuff. That's really funny. Well, fat guy, now the live OU is exactly what you have. 41 at even.
At even?
Yeah, and kill Harry lost returner duties. Yeah, that makes
Well,
sense.
he didn't have very much responsibility with this team. Like that's not gonna. That's pretty impactful for his career almost. Isn't that weird? Like he's probably gonna get another chance somewhere, but it's not.
Yeah, he's gonna get like the Kevin White treatment or the.
I don't know if it's that bad, but like Kevin White's him and who was it? That missed the year with a shin injury. I hated that. I'm like, what does that mean? How? Who is it? Brashad Perriman?
Oh, Brashad Perriman, yeah.
Remember when he got that big contract and you and I were laughing?
Well, did he? When did he get it? Like his rookie deal?
No,
after that?
no, because he had stints with the Jets.
Didn't he? Didn't he have like a? Didn't he put up like a touchdown a game for like this last half of the season? That's probably why he got the big contract.
Something like that.
I'm trying to remember what team that was with.
He got a 2-year deal with Detroit and he didn't make the team.
That was this year, right?
Yeah. If you can't make Detroit's receiver room, you've got some problems.
Well, even like Kenny Golladay went to the Giants and just had such a disappointing season. Like he looks like he doesn't even want to be there from the games we've watched. Now I'm interested. Was it Tampa where he had all this success?
I'm guessing that, but I can't be sure.
I'll find it here. Yeah, in Tampa, he started 4 games, but he had 6 touchdowns in 2019. And that would have been the last year of his rookie deal, most likely. He's been on other than his first 2 years at Baltimore, he's played for a different team every year. Cleveland, Tampa, the Jets, back to Tampa.
Cleveland too. Yeah, I forgot about that one. Dave, way under in the beard. Nice. At least I can win something today.
Oh, he's trimmed up. He Perriman signed a 1 year, $6.5 million deal with the Jets in 2020.
I guess.
Even his rookie deal with Baltimore was only $8.7 million over 4 years.
He didn't make it the whole. Like he only lasted 2 years, right?
Yeah, but like that's pretty. Like 2015, you get drafted the end of the first round. You're only making essentially $9 million in 4 years. It's.
Oh, Mickey, of course, using the official unit sizing of Big Ryan the Fat Guy.
Really? So he's gone short then.
He's got to put a Big Ryan. I love it.
That's like it's a quarter of an inch or something. An eighth?
Something like that. It's a button, as we like to say.
Yeah. Like a button in a fur coat.
You actually have seen a guy with a button before.
Yes, and his name was Chris Brown, ironically,
Chris Brown, yes.
on a camping trip.
The guy was showing everybody to fake them out during a beer pong tournament.
It was weird because it was like a half an hour distraction.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
That one
usually,
sits with you, eh?
well, like usually you drop your pants for a joke. You know,
Well, that's
the
me.
boys
I
will be
used to do
boys.
that all the time.
Yeah, but
You always
didn't-
hated it, but
Well, I learned to love it. The the
the bachelor party, I think I won that. I won you over with that. The stair
Yeah.
move.
but then you know, if you do that for half an hour straight, eventually it kind of loses its
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, that's true. Big Ryan and I went to a bachelor party in Portland, and half the party, the man getting married, he was a friend of ours for a long time, but he became a fireman. So it was like a weird split of friends and firemen we didn't know, and the firemen were very like rigid and like I don't know, they didn't have the greatest sense of humor, I felt. So, anyways, there was a stairwell going to the basement, and it had this. As you go up the stairs, there was like a retaining wall.
Yeah, partition, I guess you could say.
Yeah, partition. Yeah. So I went up bottomless without. All I had was a t-shirt on, but they didn't know I was bottomless. So I stood on. I leaned up against the partition, and I hung out for like an hour. And we're like chatting and stuff. It's like a weird place to stand, but everyone else is in the kitchen. And then I just walked over and casually got a glass of water and left and went back downstairs. So I flashed all the firemen, and Big Ry filmed it. I don't know why you did that. And but it went, I don't know, at least we're talking about it now. At least it was funny for a time.
Yeah, it went viral on 4chan.
Thanks a lot. You did threaten to do that to me a bunch of times, so.
I never threatened to do that. That's
Yes, you did.
no. I would never do that.
You did threaten to, and I believed you.
No.
I couldn't call your bluff.
There's this thing that they're advertising that you can watch the Toronto Raptors on your phone, but you can like change the viewing angle. I'm actually curious like what that is and how it actually works, because I would love
What?
to have that for football.
Interesting. I don't know if I'd want it. It's but you know what? I always say that, and then there's like a good example would be texting. I refuse to send text messages or respond to them for like the first 2 years. It's actually pretty cunning for a guy who's like, no, first year I had my phone when I was like 16 or whatever. And I said, why would I text you? I can just call you and get all the information much faster. And then I reversed course on that, obviously. Text is actually a preferred medium now for anybody. Maybe just text or WhatsApp, because you don't really want to talk to anybody, do you? You get to do it at your convenience.
Yep.
So I don't know. Maybe that's one of those things where it all reverse course. Although 4K TVs, I don't know if I'm going to reverse on that. Such a rebel. I know. What a badass, eh, Beard? That's my greatest fear, though, is I have a son that's that behaved like I did growing up. Just very difficult to punish.
What's going on, Zit? What's going on, Fear?
Yeah, it's being
It's
prepared.
posted now, Zit, so you can
There you go.
you can find it on YouTube. We just posted it like an hour ago.
Oh yeah, you did. There you go. Sorry, Big Ryan. I've been posting fake news verbally, espousing fake news. 44 minutes.
Yeah, it's we went long. We went long.
Easy, Josh Allen. Easy.
It's
Easy.
well, the live will use 39.5, so it's pretty much spot on to what it is. But the thing with this game is it just takes like one or two plays to really flip that. Like one pick six, one Weird fumble. Nice. The Thunder hit plus 3.5. Congrats, Mickey.
Yeah, 11 in the score. Well, New England, the weather was so bad. New England had to go for it. On
Go
four,
for two.
or sorry, go for 2
2-point
points rather.
conversion. And then they, because the wind is so lopsided, they're able to kick field goals going one way, but they had to go for 2 points going the other way.
Interesting discussion on we had on some friends of mine on Sunday during football. We came up with the rarest score. I think the rarest score in football is 4-2.
Yeah, so 3 safeties, is that pretty much?
It's got to be it. There's only
Or
one
like,
combination, right?
Or the 2-point conversion type.
The 2-point conversion convert like a
But you
a
wouldn't
turnover
actually
touchdown.
be able to get one of those because the
No,
other
you
team would have to
wouldn't.
score a
Good point.
touchdown.
4-4 is rarer. Yeah, with the tie. Look, we had this big debate and thought process, and then I got beat in 1 second by Zitfono. Mind you, he's got a higher chess rating than me, so we can make enough assumptions with that.
10-1 is rarest.
10-1. How do you get 1 again? I can't remember.
I think that's if you kick an extra point and it gets blocked, but then somehow you get the ball back, like as the kicking team, and score. Or do you get 2 points for doing that?
There is a way to score 1 point, but it's just never happened.
We've already looked this up. How do you get the rouge in the NFL?
Pat returned for safety. Oh, right. Oh, right. That's got to be the scoregami that'll last forever.
But
No, it can't, though.
There was a point after this happened with, was it Seattle? And they scored 2, so you get 2 points for that. A block. Remember, was it the Seahawks player that blocked the Pat and then returned it?
If it's anything super lucky, it would be. I think there has been Seahawks fan. I think there has been.
Yeah, there's been a handful of zeros.
In the 40s, yeah, in the 40s. I don't know what the chance of that now. It has to be a safety. Oh, so it goes the other way. Okay, so the Pat becomes a safety, Big Ry. So somehow the ball gets knocked back 100 yards and then recovered in the end zone. Dude, Josh Allen got crunched.
If a team attempting an extra point or 2-point conversion scores what would normally be a safety, that attempting team is awarded 1 point.
I knew Zitfono would be better with the scoregami stuff.
Yeah, this is commonly known as a conversion safety or 1-point safety. I always find it interesting, like, you feel like you watch all these games and you kind of know the rules, and then I feel like just 1 or 2 things happen every year where
every game
I'm sitting there like, what happens here? 10-10 final score with 10 safeties. I think I remember that 1-point safety thing happening recently, but I'm trying to remember if that was on an extra point or a field goal.
I think they recreated that safety thing in Madden, like just
so they can show it. And
yeah, which it would have to be. I wonder when Madden is like, but they don't try to make Madden actually realistic. I wonder when those are going to be like accurate. You know what I mean? I mean, they have been reasonable in some of the Super Bowls, but I mean, for a season long.
What's going on, Jamie?
Hey, Jamie, how are you? Oh yeah, I remember that one. What did they win? The Seahawks won 9-7. something like that. Like, what was the score? 9-7, or it was something weird. It was to win the game, right? It was Blair Walsh. Yeah. That was a really cold game. 10-9, 10-9. Yeah.
Was that a playoff game?
Yeah. This Teddy Bridgewater's last playoff game, I think, with Minnesota. Last game, maybe, with Minnesota. Because he would have got injured, too, in that off season, I think. If my timeline's correct, which often isn't. How you were in that? That was one of the coldest games, I thought, ever in the NFL. You went to that game? Oh, man. Oh, yeah, there's a story from that game, too. The punter kicked the ball and all his toenails fell off.
Oh, that's gross.
Yeah.
I could imagine a pat blocked and then returned almost to the end zone. Then the returner fumbles, and in the scramble, somehow the other team kicks it into his own end zone. Yeah.
I would have it, like, you would need, like, the entertainment group of Howard Fine and Howard to come up with that. Yikes.
Did you see that all the pylons were on the ground? Like the
I was just
pylons
gonna
can't
comment.
stay up?
Have y'all ever seen a free kick? We saw it once.
Phil Dawson
Who was
had
it, Big
one.
Right? Phil Dawson. Yeah, that's the one.
I remember because I had fantasy implications that I had lost a point because he tried to kick like a 70+ yard free kick.
He wasn't even that long of a kicker.
No. It was like comical because I think it fell like 15, 16, well, 15, 20 yards short. But Bolden's taking a beating on some of these runs.
This is the guy that can do it, though.
Or is that Stevenson? Yeah, it's.
They all have them. They're all like that, all three.
This is a pretty funny finish to the game because it's like the half, I should say, because like it's so hard to score that it just doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. The Bills just used a timeout apparently with 7 seconds left.
His player was he had one of the greatest seasons ever. Isn't that crazy? He didn't miss a kick.
Well, they can don't they get to put it on a tee for the free kick?
I think so. Mickey would probably know better.
Yeah, and Zid just brought up a good point that field goals have to be kicked higher than ideal to avoid a blocked field goal.
Yeah.
That really puts it into perspective, like how hard it is, like for Justin Tucker to hit that 66-yard field goal, because it's almost more on the blocking and like scheme wise. It's something that I noticed recently. I felt like Tucker took an extra half second before he ran up for his kick, and it was like it was just an extra point. Like it wasn't one of those types of kicks. But I'm wondering if Baltimore puts even more of an emphasis on finding like really, really strong blocking on field goal attempts. And that might be why Tucker is so good on field goals, because it's a little bit easier than maybe some of the other teams and how they run their field goal units.
Hey, it's 7 seconds. The what was I gonna say? I always had that idea that you should be like 6'10". You should have one guy who's like 6'10". Like to block the field goals. It should help. Like, two teams I hate betting on. I got a chicken pot pie going. I got to check on it. I'll be right back, gentlemen.
All right. But Zit, those are really good points that you made about not having to snap it backwards and not having like the people rush. Well, best part, Seahawks fan, is you don't have to bet it. Just you don't have to bet every single game. That's actually like betting 101. You don't want to bet every game. You essentially want to bet only if there's opportunity, like positive expected value, and like you should be looking at reasons to not find positive expected value in games. Like, even for the amount of bets that I make, like, I could probably cut down and make less. But with the betting market stuff, it's harder to really like know your exact expected value. It's easier to find expected value when you're when you bet if you're handicapping games. Kayvon Thibodeau declared for the draft. I'm not sure, but is that guy like supposed to be the first overall pick next year? Oh yeah. Yeah, if you're picking it for the contest, there's so many where Faka and I essentially we could flip a coin. And like really it doesn't matter. If you really don't have a good feeling either way, then it's a good line and just pick whichever one. At that point you might as well just take the team that gets the points. I think Baltimore's plus 2.5 for that one. How many bets would you make if you had no juice? Oh, that's very interesting to think about. Because the juice in at Pinnacle, at least, on average, for a spread, I think is 1.2% at minus 105, if I'm not mistaken. There was an experiment in Vegas where a book opened up and didn't charge juice, and that book ended up losing quite a bit of money. So they ended up stopping that pretty quickly. I can't remember what the company was. Fat Guy might remember, or even one of the people in chat might know who it was. Yeah, Jake. I was thinking that too, because they also have like the perfect guy to do it. I guess the only thing is it was in Kansas City and not in Denver. But like McManus is one of the biggest legs as far as kickers go.
Sure is.
Ziphono asked an interesting question, and I'm trying to remember the book, but he pretty much said, how much would you bet on football if there wasn't any juice? And do you remember what book it was in Vegas that opened up and didn't charge juice? And then they had to close down pretty quickly because all the sharps were essentially killing them?
I don't remember. Was that... Cantor Gaming? They only messed with that for a little bit.
And then Zap said, people who say there's no juice when you win grind my gears. Like, there's only juice when you win.
Yeah.
There's no juice when you lose. That's, I could see how that would grind your gears. It would grind my gears too.
Even if there's no juice when you lose, like, it's such a dishonest statement.
Yeah, as far as like the amount of work you have to put in to benefit, like being a bookie, much easier than studying and trying to beat any juice.
Unless you're an originator, it's a little bit harder.
Yeah. Seahawks fans said Chargers minus 10, Seahawks minus 7, Broncos minus 8. Weird spreads this week. It's a lot of the spreads are pretty large. There's not a lot of spreads that are like 3 or less this week. I think there's only like 2 or 3 games off the top of my head that I can think of. But lots of stuff between like 5 and 10.
I love chicken pot pie. That was the first one. It was
terrific.
just a filler. I had so many like weird leftover things that I just decided to make a chicken pot pie with all of it. It's really good. It's a great way to get vegetables.
Yeah, I remember we made that homemade one at my old place, and you had the pastry. It turned out really good. That I didn't get to watch the Ravens Steelers game, but the Ravens really should have executed that 2-point play and won. They didn't, but it was a really, really nice play call. Well, I shouldn't say that, because the other thing that I didn't like about that play is like you're challenging the best defensive player essentially on the other team. I don't.
Yeah.
In Watt for Pittsburgh. The Chargers are actually really good. Like the Chargers can blow teams out just because of how aggressive they are with their play calling, both like on fourth down type decisions and just with how well they can play. The other thing too is they're playing the Giants, and the Giants, like that's a pretty big gap between the Chargers and the Giants as far as like coaching goes and as far as the quality of the offenses. I actually thought I thought Green Bay would be closer to 10-point favorites, but they opened or at least are sitting at 13 points, which I found interesting.
Yeah. I hate the Giants coaching so much, though. Seahawks fan, like.
Apparently, it's a bad time to be an NHL head coach. I just saw Alain Vigneault got fired for the Flyers. The Canucks just fired Travis Green or whoever the guy's name was. Giants plus 10 might be my favorite bet, honestly. Yeah. It's definitely like a buy low on the Giants, that's for sure. Because they haven't looked, they didn't look good last week. I can't remember. Or didn't they beat Philly 2 weeks ago?
The Giants? Yeah.
Yeah. Corey likes the Ravens as a dog. Oh, yeah. Letterman's got a... It's definitely shorter than last time I saw. Chargers coming off a blowout win. Giants coming off a blowout loss. I love the spot for the Giants. Yeah, like, what do you think that line would have been if the Giants won last week and the Chargers lost?
It's a good question. Like, it shouldn't matter, to be honest. But that doesn't change the reality that we live in. And I don't know. Maybe 7.5?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Corey, I'll do that right now. I think you're sitting alone at your record. So if you if whoever you pick wins, you'll win for sure. But then I can take a look at the OU as well. It's gonna take me a minute to pull it up.
Jake Fromm at QB? No, thank you.
Who's Jake Fromm the backup for? Let me take a look.
I thought he was on the Giants.
Yes, he is. Is he a rookie?
No, I think it's 2 years.
It says Jake Fromm possibly making first NFL start.
There you go.
That's interesting news. So that's that could be why there isn't a lineup at Pinnacle. That makes a lot more sense to me. All right, so we need to know this game. New England at Buffalo. And the total. Well, I can already see that it's going to be between I can't do it, so you guys are just gonna have to watch from here. Oh, that doesn't work. But Corey, you have Buffalo -3. So if Buffalo wins by 3 or more, you win the contest. If New England covers +3, then you and Mud are tied at 10-4. Mud's OU is 45. Yours is 68. So
Ooh.
it's closest to the pin. So what's the difference between 68 and 45 is 23. Divide that by 2, 11 and a half. So 56.
Add that to 45.
56
You need
and lower.
57.
Yeah, 56 and lower would go to Mud. 57 and higher would go to you, Corey. So your best chance is Buffalo -3. Right now, Mud's the favorite to win this week. Let's see. What are your chances? Buffalo -3 is +257. And then I don't even know. It would be pretty astronomical for this game to hit 57, just with how the weather's turned out for this game. So really it's about the Bills covering that 3 points. Fromm was claimed from Buffalo last week. Right? Did you see the Discord DM I sent you last night? The T-short? Let me take a look. Oh. On Barstool Sports, you can buy a T-shirt that says CLV with a trophy over top of it.
Yeah, they're hawks for that kind of stuff.
$37. Holy smokes!
Nothing's cheap anymore, Big Rye.
Also, I see a tweet from Barstool Big Cat. Weather report live from Buffalo. I just hit the over again. Wind a total non-factor, and he's shirtless outside. Man, these guys are.
I missed that
else.
Harry debacle. That was bad.
The End Kill Harry play that
Yeah.
he made? Yeah, it was not good. Mike Lennon, Jake Fromm is a significant downgrade from Daniel Jones. I think Fromm is going to be especially, at least Glennon has NFL experience, but Fromm, he hasn't even been with the team. They just signed him from Buffalo. That's
Did Glennon get hurt?
I don't think so, but I think he just played bad enough that they probably don't want to stick with him. I don't know exactly. Jones is overrated, but yes, he's better than those two for sure, said Seahawks fan. Looked at the league stats, was shocked to see Carr leads the league. I do have Bills -3. I don't know. I barely hear anyone say anything good about Daniel Jones. He isn't bad. Jones is slightly
He's
below
really
average.
bad on crisis plays.
Yeah, I'd
Very
say
bad on crisis plays.
He's in the high 20s. If you had to rank every quarterback, that's probably where I'd put him.
Yeah, 26 maybe.
Yeah, he's got his arm talent is solid, but that's really it. Everything else, and he's got he's actually one of the best running quarterbacks in the league. Fat guy's Christmas present. Yeah. The variance in this game is so high. Bills +257 is insane at the -3. But that's because the I think the live line was 2.5. Let me just double check. This game's weird because it's like pretty much down to touchdowns. Like you can only really kick extra points going one direction. He was a 6 overall pick, therefore he's overrated in terms of what the Giants thought how good he was. Quarterback is different though. Like quarterback, like you have to take pretty much any quarterback you're going to probably have to draft in like your first 15 picks unless you're Lamar Jackson or Teddy Bridgewater and you can fall to the end of the first round for some strange reason. But it's just tough, right? Because there's never the league's never been at a point where like all 32 teams have really good quarterbacks. Like it's just the most important position. It means the most to winning and losing. Oh boy, that was close.
The wind is like really slowing down these passes. That's 2 in a row. That's a bad play call on third down, considering they just had that issue literally the play before.
Well, what's really interesting with this game, and I haven't been able to watch close enough to know, but the corners should be able they should be able to play like ultra aggressive because it's not like they can drop the ball over top like 30 yards down the field.
Yeah.
Like it's very, very hard to do. And I'm sure they're still using probably at least one safety deep just because if they do go deep, like it's just too easy to make a play as that safety. Oh, unlucky for the Bills.
You shouldn't even play safety, really. Like you should just add another corner to a guy. Why add a safety? Do you know what I mean? Like what would be the point of that almost?
Oh, the Taysom Hill contract looked terrible when he signed it. Like that was, to me,
but
that
it might
makes
have been
no
a salary
sense.
dump thing. It's a weird thing. The Saints are in continual cap hell.
Yeah, we were looking at that pretty closely. Corey said, I think Jones lacks confidence like Goff. I think that both those guys with better coaching can have success. Like they both have physical tools to be able to get it done.
Jared Goff's been to a Super Bowl. Like,
yeah, it doesn't get much better than that. Did you see the stat I put in the court about the Lions in close games? They play hard every week. Yeah, I've watched pretty much every snap of Detroit Lions football this year. Like they've been the team that when I'm looking at games, like I want to watch them play because I find it very interesting, but they've played very hard and there really hasn't been very many games where it's like easy for the opposition. But you know, they're in such a tough spot. Like the coaching isn't great. Like they play hard, but the coaching is just still not great. The talent on the team is very, very low. Like they're just guys that are playing hard and essentially just trying to put game on tape so they can get an opportunity somewhere else later on or stick with this team as they grow and become better. Yeah, Zap said Taysom Hill is a fullback, not a quarterback. Taysom Hill has like a very nice role that he can play. Like we got to see it with Drew Brees. Like he's a very, very dangerous player in the red zone. He's multifaceted and can be used like very versatile, like very versatility. I don't even know what the word is, but he can be used. He's versatile in what he can do on offense, but that doesn't like. He's a guy that's really hard to just like put under center and have him play every single down. Like you're just limited in what you can do offensively over an entire season with Taysom Hill. Detroit 8-4 against the spread. But ever since Fat Guy Goff laid an egg in the bowl, he has something missing. Well,
I don't know if I can't sign off on that. It's just like you can pick any plot point you want. You know what I mean?
Goff's played well, but like Goff,
like here's an example that's contrary to that idea, like isolating something like that. When he came in with the broken finger, after who was that? John, what's his name? The the backup played against Seattle on the road in the playoff game, and he just tore it
Tim
up.
Boyle.
No, it was John something.
Is this with the Lions, or are you talking about with the Rams?
With the Rams. I think he's still there. John Wolford. You remember that game?
Not off the top of my head, but
It was against the Seahawks playoffs. He had to come in. He had an injured finger, and he was like the emergency quarterback, and he played really, really well.
Oh, yeah, I do remember that. Because we were contemplating making a live bet, because it was like how, if this guy was healthy enough to play, like he'd be starting.
Yeah. Zaps has kind of a good point. Like every team does play hard. Yes, but like a lot of losing teams kind of just revel in losing. Maybe it's an intangible, unquantifiable thing, but it does feel like the Lions have played realistically whistle to whistle despite a very despondent situation. Can you quantify that? No. Do I like elements where you can't quantify? No, but like I feel like they're a good dog in a coverage in a spread situation.
ATS is interesting because it shows you the level of like the expectations of where teams should be, and it's a very, very good indicator on how
high variance, but yes,
how well or how poorly a team's been coached that season, at least I find. And the expectations are extremely low in Detroit. Like I don't think anyone had very high expectations, but they stay in games. I don't know how to. I guess I'm having a tough time explaining it.
Wonder if this can be holding on New England.
Oh, I'm sure they've had fluky covers, but like it works both ways. Like it just happens, right? They ended up losing to Baltimore off a 66-yard field goal. Like it's
like that's crazy. They got the cover though. Like like that's the way to lose the game.
Detroit's not good. They're one of, if not the worst team in the league. It's probably Houston and then Detroit, at least in my head, and a sprinkle of Jacksonville. But I think Houston. No. It's hard to say because Detroit is like they've offloaded. Like they're trying to make their team.
Roster is really poor,
and we're saying that from a contract perspective. Like if you go look at their contracts and how they've set up the team, like they're trying to rebuild. They're trying to rebuild, and they've done a very like. I don't know if it's on purpose or if it was by mistake, but like the rebuild is on pace for them, which is nice to see.
I don't, Corey, Andy, I don't think you can make that. I don't think it's fair to say that. I think the Pats are much more talented this year solely because of quarterback play. You can be worse in every other position slightly, but if you're a big upgrade at quarterback, that transcends way, way, way more. And I think it's inarguable that Mac Jones has been in a substantial upgrade on Cam Newton. And also too, like you got to think of like Cam Newton's turnovers and things like that, and how they affect like a team like New England, who's really been a defensive team for like since 2014 almost. Really.
Yeah. In that Pittsburgh game, Goff picked up like an oblique injury or something, like something pretty bad. Like they essentially
look at the ball, look at the ball roll.
Yeah. So that game, it wasn't like he looked scared or anything. Like he had like a pretty bad injury, and it's pretty crazy when like the team and the coaches know that you've had this bad injury and they still just like throw you out there, considering he's better than whoever the replacement would have been. The Pats have a very talented roster, but the Pats, like,
I wouldn't go that far.
They do, like, it's talented because they do have, like, the Patriots value players differently than pretty much anyone else in the league.
Yes, that they do. Like who like who's really talented on this team? Like I like their
Matthew
running back room,
Judon,
but it's
incredibly
whatever.
talented player.
Matt Judon's very good. He's a high-priced free agent. I like Trent Brown. I like Mac Jones. The running back room I love, but it's very easily replicatable. Like I'm trying to think. There's no receiver. They have a strong tight end group that doesn't actually make splash plays. It's just kind of used in a under roll, which is kind of weird considering how much they're paid.
Well, they.
Devin McCourty, you mean Corey Andy? I don't know. He's like 36. I would say he's an average option at safeties. Their best secondary player is J.C. Jackson. You got experience at linebacker, but again, it's age, right?
The Patriots like to have as much like versatility as they can. They like having players that are smart and can do lots of different things, and they do it at like Moneyball style where they find guys kind of in that mid-range. They usually get guys that are like just off of rookie deals or just off of like a bad
stint, right? Like where they can underpay, and then also too, a lot of those guys don't get guarantees. You know what I mean? And also too, what works for them is guys tend to get big contracts coming off of the Patriots.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that would be an incentive to take a 2-year deal with the Patriots. Like look at the money that who was the old defensive end that ended up in Detroit? I can't even remember his name now. $100 million deal.
I'm trying to remember.
D and Trey Flowers.
Yeah.
We don't even talk about him. We didn't even talk about him. Does he even start in Detroit?
I'm not sure.
Like, I don't remember the last time they said his name in a game, and I've seen a number of Detroit games this year.
Yeah. Well, like Patriots players, like especially on defense, like they all have different roles. I'm sure it's the same way on offense. Like,
yeah.
And their roles are just the coaching staff can do more things and they can do it quicker than other teams. Like, how many games have we watched, Fat Guy, where like halfway through a game we're like, why doesn't Detroit just do this, or why doesn't the Texans just do this? It's like,
yeah, that's true.
And we think that like they have this full deck of cards that they're playing with. A lot of teams don't. Like a lot of teams, they can't even get the basic stuff right. They can't even line up properly. Like they're taking delay of game calls. They're using timeouts weird. You rarely see that stuff with the Pats, and it's because they're getting guys that are well coached, smart, versatile, like football player type guys. You know, they might not be the fastest in the combine or the strongest, but like on the field, what they're asked to do and how they're evaluated talent wise and then used talent wise on the field, like the Patriots know how to get the most out of these players. And it just amazes me when you get to watch them because they get to do so many different things that other teams just aren't able to do. But to me, I think that is talented. Like they might not be the, they don't have a lot of guys that are going to get signed to like those Trey Flower like deals that, 5 years, 100 million, whatever it is. But like collectively, they're just all very good.
You can't draft Jeff Okudah, 3rd overall corner. You can't do that. He did get hurt, right? And you can just do any way you like. You can frame that any way you want to. It's just you don't get the positional return on a cornerback.
Here we go. Oh man. That ball looked like it hit Diggs in the hands. I want to see this replay.
It did. Are they against the wind, or did the wind die down?
They're going in the direction of the wind, so I guess that's such an incredibly difficult catch to make if he made that. Full speed.
I think the
over
throw
the
is so much harder though.
Oh yeah, like the throw was great.
Land that in that bucket in all of I don't know. How many guys could do that in the league? But it's him, Herbert, and Mahomes. It's got to be it.
Daniel Jones could make that throw. Like,
Yeah, maybe. I
there's
don't think
there's some
A-Rod's
other
got the
guys.
power anymore.
A-Rod could. Russell Wilson could.
I don't know. I'm not confident in those guys in that for that type of throw. I feel like they're better underneath, like than both of those guys better than any of these young guys underneath. But in this type of throw, in this situation, I don't know.
Wilson probably has the best deep. Well, like statistically, he's had the best deep ball over his career, I guess you could say.
Wentz, yeah, maybe Wentz. That's tough though. I don't know if he's going to be as accurate.
He's going to be about a yard short. There's no way that the Bills don't go for this.
No way.
And I'm surprised that they didn't pick up a flag on that play. It looked like there was some holding on the O line.
Yeah, yeah. He grabbed him from behind.
Daniel Jones is not the new Chase Daniel. That's for sure. I wonder what this flag's on.
How late is this flag?
Was that for a late hit out of bounds on Josh Allen?
Yeah. That's bad. Like it's like really hokey to throw it that late. He's in the air.
There's no way that should be a penalty. That is about as bad of a call as I've seen. Because the guy he's not out of bounds. He's still trying to extend the ball and get a first down, and you just push him out like that. That is such a terrible call.
I want to see Belichick on the sideline. I hate that call big time.
It would be Fear said can Houston hire us? It would be interesting if we were GMs. Like it really would be interesting.
Oh, I know exactly. I've replayed this scenario in my head before.
I just somebody in the Discord posted a video of the Eagles drafting Jalen Reagor, and then Justin Jefferson was selected right after, and the Minnesota brass was laughing when they selected Reagor because it was like probably way off. Like probably like in Minnesota it was like do not draft this guy, and then they get Justin Jefferson out of that.
Yeah.
Is Belichick still upset about the roughing the passer?
Probably, yeah.
Oh, man. The Bills have a decision to make here. They could, like, this is field goal, like, the direction to kick a field goal, and it looks like they're going to attempt one. That not going for two earlier is looking pretty tough right now with how this game's going.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. If you're calling out the fat guy.
It's possible. It's possible. I don't know. My idea for evaluating talent would be not to be honest. Did he get it in? Wow. Like I'd want to hire people for that. Like I think GM should be more delegation. Do you know what I mean? Like I would be more interested in positional values and then trying to accumulate cheap contracts, rookie deals in certain positions, because you're going to have a higher hit rate on certain positions in certain rounds. I don't think I'd be very old school, but if anything, I'd be very discriminatory about positions, to be honest. Because I just think like I'd have to. I would agree with. I would do whatever the data said though, but I have a hypothesis that it would be way better. You're way better off trading down a lot of times, assuming you have a quarterback, and gathering more picks, so you have a better chance at getting a hit, and also drafting a quarterback every year. This is a big Rye idea, by the way. Drafting a QB every year. The two most valuable picks the last 25 years are Russell Wilson and Tom Brady. It's not even close. Third round and sixth round for, two 20-year QBs. Can't beat it.
Honestly, like even even how much like a third round, even like a second, like even late first round for a quarterback for that 4 or 5 years, like
Yeah, you get a 5-year deal.
is pretty crazy. Like Lamar Jackson, Teddy Bridgewater, these are two of the guys. Like Teddy obviously got hurt, so kind of hurt that that value. But like Lamar Jackson, I don't know what year he is. Like what year is Lamar Jackson in?
3 or 4.
Because they're gonna get
He can hold out though, but you could play hardball. There's no, you know what I mean? There's no like leeway around that. It's in the CBA or whatever.
pull up the Lamar Jackson spot track. Yeah, so he's in the 4th year of his deal. Next year he's going to get paid $23 million. But he's been getting paid
$23 million seems cheap.
on average $2.3 million over the last 4 years. He's going to make a lot more after that, but it's such a huge advantage for Baltimore to have a player like him be able to play quarterback as well as he has for that kind of a deal. Yeah, that one, you can just tell how much the wind goes by those kickoffs. This is, what's super interesting, and someone brought it up earlier, but like there is a serious chance that this game could end on a game-winning free kick.
I don't know. That'd be really, really, really cool though.
Yeah, because you would have to, the team with the win would just have to get them back far enough, and then force a punt, and then that punt could lead to a actually relatively short free kick if.
Yeah, potentially.
The only thing that I don't know about free kicks is that I think you have to do it off of a fair catch. I don't know if you can free kick if the other team punts it out of bounds. But if a team punts it out of bounds, then you could just do a regular field goal anyways. So interesting things to think about as this game progresses.
Well, we're gonna see.
In a game like this, you could almost play like seven defensive linemen.
7 defensive linemen. Yeah, you could. Look at that. It's look at that corner against who is that? Dave Andrews, the center. That looked great. Like you see a fat guy and the other guy has no chance.
It's always insane how athletic the linemen are. Like the fact that these guys can pull and pretty much keep up with, and get the advantage on a guy like a corner is.
Jake Jacobs, you have to fair catch it. Yeah, he's right. In regards to the free kick.
Yeah, so I'm wondering if you were in that situation, then would you be trying to punt it out of bounds to prevent the other team from getting it?
It's so weird. Such a weird like concept. You just see the crackback block by N'Keal Harry.
I missed it.
Oh, it was excellent.
The this Patriots backfield though of Harris and Stevenson
And even
is
Bolden is like helping.
yeah, like it's
Jakob Janssen,
pretty
it's
nice
nice
in this game. Oh man, what a play. That is so close too. I love that. That's unreal.
That is very impressive.
That's a thing that like it's such a simple thing. Like at least looking at like us looking at it as layman's from the outside,
Yeah.
but there's not many teams that would have been able to execute that.
They're trying to run this quarter out too. What's the live OU at?
It's not up now, but it was 33.5 last I saw.
Yeah.
This is one of those games where even turnovers on downs is like it's not that big of a deal. I don't think he got it. I love watching these look,
Like
okay.
arbitrary.
The referee signaled first down before these guys have even like decided on where they're going to spot the ball. And look at how quickly they're going for this. Like I think he thinks that they didn't get it. Also, it took Jones way too like they should have had that snap 2 seconds before.
It got challenged, right?
It had to have been, because I really hate I really hate how they've changed like spotting the ball on these short plays, because they're so quick to like both of the line judges or whatever these guys are called. Neither of them have like one guy was standing like half a yard forward from where the other guy was, and both the referee just goes and signals it. They haven't even figured out where they're going to put the ball on the ground. It makes no sense to me.
I don't understand why, like, there isn't okay when a whistle gets blown. There's like a timestamp, and like they don't use soccer technology, and they use like some sort of sensor on the inside of the ball. Do you know what I mean? Like kind of like how soccer has it, like those stickers, and it's just on the nose of the ball on both sides.
Yeah. Well, the other thing that's tough is like, even if they had that there, how do you know when he's down? Like, how do you know when his knee hits the ground? You don't. Like, it's all.
Yeah.
There's no way of knowing. Like, I guess they technically could put like some sort of sensor in all those different spots, but even then, it's.
I don't know how you get this overturned though.
I don't know either. Like, there's not
no
like at least
view.
the evidence is, that we've seen. There's nothing showing either way. Also, the yellow line they used on the field was like, maybe a quarter of a yard in front of where the actual first down thing was. So it's just super messy to tell what's going on. I haven't done any more research, but I'm wondering if the local books are still using minus 140 lines on both sides. Also, it's I wonder if they threw the challenge flag just because they saw how quickly the Pats were trying to get to the line of scrimmage and get the next playoff.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But it'd be an interesting thing to do just as a team. Like, I know this is very meta. Like, they lose one challenge in a timeout, but it could be key later. And then I don't know if you're here, Fat Guy, but I was throwing it out there that the Bills might want to use their timeouts at the end of the third quarter just to increase the amount of plays they get with the wind at their back.
Very interesting, Big Rye. I think the OU is very affected by if the Patriots are leading going into with the win, because they you know what I mean? Like, there's no urgency to score necessarily, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, obviously you want to have the lead, but you're less urgent. Like, you're pretty safe almost on defense because the other team's limited, right?
Marlon Humphrey done for the season, diagnosed with pectoral muscle tear.
We mentioned in the video.
That's tough for them. He's been such an integral part of their.
He's been a name player on defense for sure.
He's been kind of like the guy that covers the tight end, like the
tight end, yeah,
the best. Usually the tight end. But you know what's interesting too that we didn't talk about is that the Ravens are also one of those teams where they could easily have another guy just like Humphrey just waiting,
ready to being groomed.
Yeah,
they seem to do that so well. Like, look at their linebackers. Like Zadarius Smith, Matt Judon, and then it's like Tyus Bowser. Like, now,
yeah,
it's interesting. Any guesses on Jones's QBR? I don't know, 90. It's a 1-for-1, right?
I really
that
like
was a
how
sick run.
Stevenson has looked.
Look at 71, just hold that edge, and then 47, Jakob Johnson. It's like 116. Okay.
This is such like an anti-Buffalo Bills game. Like,
yeah,
just used to watching them throw the ball. So this is it. That's the end of the third quarter. The Patriots, the Bills are no longer going to have the wind at their back. But that also just means that, you know, essentially Buffalo's, it's 4-down territory for them, I feel like, going forward. Especially if the Pats score a touchdown.
This defense is being tested, in a way it never has. Like, New England can't be any more direct in the way they're conducting offense. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, the Bills are the Bills aren't like lining up traditionally either. They've got like 9 guys in the box. It feels like on every play. Yeah, Corey, and the Bills are first in rushing EPA, but I'm also wondering how much of that is just other teams not, being down against them and not running the ball, if that makes sense. Just with how, like, the Bills are they so heavily rely on Josh Allen's just raw talent. Like, so much of their success is directly correlated to how well he's played and how aggressive he's able to be on offense. They've really struggled running the ball, and then defensively, it's just going to be tougher when you're not getting that much support on offense.
They had like the number 2 or 3 run defense for most of the year, Corey Andy. So I don't know if that's true, but it would be interesting. Jake Jacobs, this is the easiest cash of it was 28.5. Why didn't I look? What an idiot.
Well, that's like the longest
silly.
field goal was 47.5. Like there was some serious opportunity in the OU market for this game. Or like the what's the word that you use, fat guy? Like secondary markets. What's the word?
Well, there's derivatives and proposition
thank you.
markets.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get. I'm kind of heading in the direction of derivative markets, so I have a lot of ideas that are getting excised right now.
Just a lot of opportunity. It's really just comes down to like where do you want to focus your time? Because pretty much any derivative market, you're gonna be able to find some opportunity, some better than others, but
I think you have to focus on your time on the data collection of it all first, and that's kind of what I am doing.
And that part's the harder part to do.
Yeah, it is. But you're good. You're good at organizing data, so I think I finally figured out the secret sauce for our next stuff.
Yeah. Nice play from the Bills on defense.
That was awesome. Matt Milano has really come around as a player, eh?
Yeah, he's been good for them.
Been a weak player, on this team for some time, like from a physical standpoint, but he's become a pretty good starter, actually.
You get that with a lot of guys, right? Like when they just get to play this many snaps, and if they're constantly getting better, it's just sometimes it just
what I mean. And they're given that room to grow.
2 in a row,
and obviously they're usually smart guys too.
But this is like
Matt Milano.
I'd have to go back and watch, but this is how the Bills kind of had to play, right? They have to play downhill. They have to take their chances, and even just 1 or 2 negative runs like really, really affect this. Because now the Patriots have to decide: are they gonna throw this? A field goal is actually pretty big because 4 points makes it a touchdown.
Huge.
So
is it really though? Is it really though? Because they're not going to kick a field goal. The Bills probably,
but who knows? Like they ran the ball. It's honestly what I expected. The other thing too is it allows for you to be, in theory, just one more drive with another field goal, and it makes it a.
He's the most field goal attempted team.
Whoa. You can see the uprights.
Dude, I didn't even know which way it was going to go, eh?
Yeah. Live OU 32.5 with juice on the under.
32.5?
Yeah, what's the score right now? Is it 14-10, so 24?
Mickey Hill, I think the only pass was an audible, and McDaniels got pissed about it. What a way to win a game, though. This is awesome. I always Zaps always makes a joke that I like Army and Navy offenses. I'm loving this from the Patriots. Like this is a football game to me, to be honest. It's becoming one of my favorite games of the year.
Well, we just love the strategy behind, like, if you just dedicate yourself to the run and you're able to do it, like, It makes it very, very hard on the other team.
Especially in this type of situation, like for them to come back. Think of the gall of this Bill Belichick. I love it. Is we're gonna throw it 0 times this game. You know what I mean? And like almost exposing the Bills like not being like prepared for something like this. The Army Navy game is this Saturday. Yeah. Well, I remember you writing that comment one time, and I'm like, this guy gets me a little bit. I don't know. There's something about passing that isn't as satisfying to me. I like the grit. I like grit.
Well, let's take a guess, fat guy. What do you think the OU is on the Navy Army game?
I don't know. 39, 37?
34.5.
It's a college game, so I juiced it. If it was an NFL game, it would have went like 28. Like an NFL game employing those two strategies.
Yeah.
Depending on which teams, like, I'm trying to think of ineffective running teams. Like the Jets. Oh, you know who's been really bad at running the ball? Atlanta.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, with head coach Arthur Smith.
So this is another great example because we talk about it looks like they're trying to get a return out of this with that short, and they're able to field it. That actually worked against the Patriots, having the short kick there. Yeah, Corderell's been, I want to say his usual self, but this might be the best
season
year
he's had
of his career. I'm surprised he's still able to produce the same way he has, considering like it's pretty crazy when guys like him and like Deshaun Jackson, like their athleticism just doesn't seem to wane. That's pretty cool. So there was a Baylor UNC bowl game from 2015 where Baylor lost their quarterback at the end of the season, and they rushed 80 times for 600 yards out of the spread offense. That's the
coolest thing I've ever heard.
I like running out of the spread offense just because, it just cuts down the numbers. Like, it cuts down the number of reads the running back has to make.
That's interesting.
I say this not knowing a thing about running the ball, like the intricacies of it. I always found it very interesting when I got to hear Frank Gore break down like certain plays and what he was looking for. Like, it made it seem much more like running the ball is much more difficult than I think any of us think it is. Like the science behind it is much more intricate than we give it credit for. Here's one of those plays where they went zone. It just, man, that ball almost got punched out too by the
Patriots did it ever?
Linebacker.
I love that.
I don't know what it is tonight, but it feels like I've seen a lot of Bills receivers on the ground when they're trying to make these catches.
Yeah. The ball trajectory seems to change.
It also shows you just how accurate some of these passers are, like with the wind throwing it off, like how different football would be.
That's a really bad hold on 60. Curious, very surprised I didn't get a holding penalty on that one. Ooh. Check out 60 to center. He pulls.
Didn't look as bad there, but I know what you mean.
I guess you're right. Yeah. I looked from the side view. It looked like he's being ripped away. There, it's not that bad.
It's deceiving because the side view sometimes it looks like they're a lot closer than
Yeah, that's true.
they might be. Promising drive here for the Bills. Did you get snow at your place?
Yeah.
No.
Melted pretty quick though.
Yeah, same here. I was just gonna say it looked like a horse collar tackle. The flag seemed to come out pretty late. Yep.
It's a horse collar.
It wasn't like a lot, but he definitely grabbed him.
Yeah, and it's like in clear view of
the referee and the
105,
head coach.
the referee 105. Yeah.
I'm expecting a Josh Allen rushing touchdown. That's what I'm expecting over the next few plays. Everything else just feels like too tough.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so hard to tackle a quarterback, man. Like that penalty is still sticking in my mind. He wasn't even out of bounds technically, and he got pushed. He didn't get hit, he got pushed.
Yeah, that was something else.
Look at this timeout prop I found. I think it's really beatable. There's got to be some coaches that call timeouts way more. I feel like this is one of them.
The Bills?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of like the teams that really just use their timeouts whenever. It's like essentially like any team with a young quarterback. Young quarterbacks or bad coach teams.
Yeah.
Also, talk about pins and needles, man. You'd be watching like a hawk if you bet who takes the first time out. Like,
Yeah, it's not going to change much if you have the data. It'll make more interesting, really weird plays.
yeah.
Like you probably paying attention more to the clock. Like like you said, the game clock.
Oh, did that count? Oh, well, it's not going to matter because they got him here. That's a huge sack to take there for Josh Allen. Really, really bad.
That's got to hurt the OU so badly.
Let me pull up the live odds.
What do they
again.
do now?
They've They're probably going to throw the ball. I'd probably run it or like some sort of screen. I don't think we've seen any screens tonight.
They're saying you didn't see Dawson Knox. I think it's a lot more complicated than that. Like,
you know what's really tough about this is like there's enough time in this game where you can just kick the field goal, but it's like there's a real good chance that the Patriots could run out the clock in 7 minutes, like with how they've played on offense.
I don't think they actually crossed the line.
It looks like they're kicking a field goal.
What's the chance of this field goal?
Oof.
Bonjour, Robert.
I think like
I
honestly think
French, Big Rye.
I honestly think it's like 50% he makes this.
I feel like it's less. Did you start him in fantasy?
I did. It had enough leg to get there, but it's a miss. I saw the live OUs at 24.5, so it made me think that he was going to miss, but
yeah,
that's honestly such a tough one.
Oh, it's so hard.
Look at that ball go. Holy.
He had to kick it like to the left so much.
There was it's 33 yards, and I was thinking it might not make it. Like, I didn't know if he'd have enough leg. That's what I was more worried about, but... Oh, comment ça va, Robert?
I'll be right back.
All right. Time for chicken pot pie 2 for the fat guy.
Yeah.
I was just going to say St. Louis Rams. I'm like, this has to be a Kurt Warner. I know someone mentioned that there was a Kurt Warner movie coming out. It's interesting that they got Chuck to play him, but I almost think Kurt Warner's more handsome. Yeah, I bet it's late. It's what? It's got to be like 3, 4, 5 a.m. where you are. Hopefully you're enjoying the Monday night football game between the Patriots and the Bills. And thanks for joining us on the stream. I was just thinking, Mickey, like the guy could just he could literally just stop his video here, but I don't know, he just...
Why would I? It's easier to me. I got to restart it, and what if it doesn't come back on?
I just like that. It feels like you're trying to kidnap us every time you throw your sock over your webcam or whatever it is.
Listen, man, I'm not the only guy who has like... That's right. You're the only guy that has that type of fantasy. Jeez.
Yeah. So 7:24 left. Bills only have one timeout. And spoiler, the Patriots are going to be running the ball. But the Bills have had a lot more success stopping the run over the last handful of plays. It feels much more downhill for them. Since 1970, The fewest pass attempts in a win is 2 from the Buffalo Bills, ironically.
Wow.
Not ironically, I should say. Here we go. He's got to be running this, though. No. They throw it. It looks like it's incomplete. I see celebration on the Buffalo sideline.
That was nice from that corner.
It's interesting when like Joe Buck or like Al Michaels go on those shows because like we get to hear 3-4 hours of them weekly anyways. How much more you want to hear from Joe Buck?
I like Joe Buck.
Yeah, but he's not a dentist.
Well, yeah, apparently not. Hey, that was a pass.
That was a pass. So now up to 3 attempts. Well, so much I was counting how much time they'd be able to take off the clock here. It's interesting, though, because this should be, like, they should net some yards on this punt. There's still so much time on the clock. I really don't see them putting this anytime soon. These long snaps, too, have to be... Like, don't you think those long snaps would be more difficult than these, like, 8-yard completions they've been trying to get? But you got to think this drive, it's touchdown or bust for the Bills. Like, there's just not
You're
much
not
else you
attempting a
can
field
do.
goal. Like, look at the time, and you couldn't even if there was 15 minutes, you couldn't make a field goal if you wanted to.
There's no OU. Pats are like minus 300 on the live line. So it shows you the confidence they have in the Bills being able to score a touchdown here in the last 5 minutes. What else is strange is that if the Bills score a touchdown, it'll put them up 2, and then they have to go for 2, and that could be pretty damn key because it'll be the difference between the Patriots having to kick a field goal or... Oh, man. Catch? Wow.
No, that's got to be out of bounds.
They're telling him go. They're telling him go. Oh, man. It's so hard to tell. He caught that. What a catch. Holy. He looked totally out of bounds live. That's just a spectacular catch. They're really taking advantage of Hightower in coverage on these last couple plays with Moss. I missed that last one. Did they manage to pick up a first down? It looks like to Dawson Knox. Nice job. Live line now, Bills plus 120.
Whoa.
Quite the drastic change. But maybe that means there's a big
That
play coming up.
completion, either a big play coming up or that completion gave a lot of sway to how they're able to run this offense.
Well, here we go. There's that big play.
It's like probably their best run of the season.
Yeah. Outside of a Josh Allen scramble.
Yes.
Yeah, it's down to plus 102 now for the Bills live. Which could mean another decent play. Oh, Matthew Judon down. So he's going to have to come out for the next play. Like, we have 7 teams making the playoffs, and like you see teams like the Colts and the Browns outside of the
Be a
playoff
shame
fixtures.
if the Colts and the Browns don't make it. That's going to be a fun game. Patriots Colts.
Yep. It's also pretty crazy that week 14 teams are still getting buys. Like,
yeah.
I didn't know that either, Mickey.
Oh, which one?
Bills are having a lot of success on this drive on these short throws. Bills now favorites at minus 125.
DeFoya? Mickey Hill? Wow.
Michelle Beesner-Buck.
Glad it wasn't DeFoya for his sake.
Now down to minus 113.
Oh.
The Patriots use the timeout. I was wondering when or if they would start using their timeouts. I know this is pretty bad, but I don't actually know what Patriots player that was on the far left. But it's like the Pro Football Reference front page. Like you pull up the players by face, and it's
Tough.
it's hard to recognize a lot of NFL players, which is actually
Especially-
probably super nice for them. I'm sure locally a lot of guys probably get recognized more, but
Well, it depends the size of the city. I don't
Yeah.
imagine LA too many people care.
yeah. Or New York. They're showing that these guys have to hold the cameras in place and stuff. It's pretty good. It seems funny that still like the chain system is still the best way for them to go about things. but
Yeah.
got a blitz there from New England. Diggs was open, but timing was off. Or really the throw was off from the looks of it. A little bit of both. That back shoulder throw has to be a lot harder to
Pull off.
pull off than we think. 3rd and 9. That missed field goal coming pretty large right now. Oh, and there's a flag on the Bills. Just a killer penalty here. You're going to push it back to 3rd and 14.
Oh. Just like these yards are just so hard to make up.
Yeah.
Because think about it, like their big threat is like a Josh Allen scramble, and that significantly hurts it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right, who's coming for the Pats and who's going to drop into coverage? That's really the question here at the line of scrimmage.
They should just rush Hightower at this point. Actually, he's got a lot of leeway right now. A lot. And they do. And it's him who makes the play. No. What? That
What a
was-
key play.
I can't believe that he didn't get sacked.
How quickly things change. On the live line, Pats are minus like 500. The most likely way the Bills score is actually going to be some sort of like defensive pass interference on the next.
Yeah, you might
next
be
play.
right. Maybe not. That was pretty close, Big Rye.
That last attempt, yeah.
Relatively, yeah. That was I can't believe he got out of that and extended that play though.
Yeah, like I'd have to go back and see, but that would have been a killer sack to take. It would have made it like 4th and 34 or something stupid. Bills plus 435 right now, plus 426. Pats minus 567.
Percentage.
I would love to show the odds live. The only thing that I don't like is that it shows my bankroll. Apparently, the live odds don't update unless something happened. Unless I'm logged in. I think Mickey likes that. I tried the Giants earlier in the year on a live bet to score on the last drive. It didn't pan out for me. but it was like 3 or 4 to 1. I think this Bills still have one timeout, so even if they don't get it, they technically still have a chance, albeit a bad one. The line's down, so I'm guessing this play is close to being run. I'll try not to look at the live lines now that this play is going to be happening. Yeah, live bets are just... I learned my lesson on live bets. It's very... you end up being very emotional. I lost a lot of money, let's just say, live betting.
You never did it again.
No.
To your credit. That was the only stupid gambling you've ever done in your life.
Yeah. And I learned my lesson.
You absolutely did.
It's very emotional, right? Because with your eyes, you make these things, oh, this could never happen, and anything can happen.
That was the most apologetic I've ever seen you. And that was the least I've cared.
Yeah.
It was such a weird time. Yeah. But that's like, think about, okay, yeah, you did lose a lot of money that day. Like, that was one instance, though. That was really cheap for a lesson.
Oh,
you know
definitely.
What I mean?
Yeah, it was
it's like pretty cheap. Like,
it made me a lot more sound.
Yeah, like that was a really good investment, I think.
Yeah.
On both our parts, it worked out great. I agree with Zaps, though, that there is, like, this is a...
Well, it's just like the prop and derivative markets, like the OU on... like, it's easy for us to watch the game now, and Mac Jones has 3 attempts. But, like, 28 and a half... Like, and how many throws does Josh Allen have this game?
15?
Let's take a look.
I thought the OU should have been 12.
Josh Allen's at 29, so it's actually spot on what the OU is. So
20 what?
29. So a lengthy break here with the Adrian Phillips injury. But 4th and 14 here for the Bills. Still one timeout, so not completely done if they don't get it here, but pass defense, and I don't know if he could have picked that off, but knocking that ball down is actually the right play to make.
Way better. Yeah. It's like way better. They must, you know what? They must have told him on the, like, during that break, like,
I don't think it would have been completed anyways, but it worked out well. Wow, an embrace.
father and son.
This still isn't over. The Pats could easily fumble on one of these carries. Bills use their last timeout, so 1:50 on the clock. A first down ends this game. Good point, Mickey. Yeah, that muff punt was like...
Yeah. Yeah.
The other thing, too, is like the Bills have had success, but they've had more success going into the win than with it at their backs, and they probably could have put up more points. It's weird, like how which way you're going at in each quarter matters. Like the Pats went for 2 early on because of the wind. The Bills kicked an extra point because of the wind. The Bills missed a field goal because of the wind, and then they could have they probably would have kicked a field goal on that last play if the score was 14-13. I like how I said like they definitely would have.
Do you consider taking a safety here when there's 20 seconds left?
No. The last time they were at this position, they punted it out of the end zone. Like the wind's just too crazy right now.
Yeah.
And also then you have the Bills have an opportunity to win with a field goal, which is still very hard to do, but I love Belichick and he's smart as hell, but doesn't he feel like some like Eastern European grandmother sometimes with some of these faces in the cold? Like
He's I don't know what the term is. Probably some funny ethnic term I can't think of.
it would have been way more fun if the broadcast didn't mention the weather once this entire time, and then tomorrow on First Take or whatever the shows are called now, they could talk about how both teams are terrible on offense.
Yes. Bill not even wearing a coat. Yeah.
I feel like he has like an electric heater underneath that, like a battery pack vest.
That's you would have that for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a big rye written all over something like that.
I remember the day I quit soccer was because there was a game that was like we had to play in negative temperatures. And I was playing center back, just standing at center the entire game, and I went, "Yeah, I'm good." I don't. I don't really understand how they got so much time taken off the clock here.
It was there was an injury timeout by the Bills, and then it restarted the clock. I don't exactly know how it worked, but they didn't have any timeouts left, so it's like an excess timeout.
Because like, if they just do a 4-second play here, this game's done. They don't have to punt the ball. Like, to me, if they run just a regular running type play,
why even risk it? You're not gonna get it.
you just run like a stretch play and have the running back fall. Like,
I guess that's true.
they're gonna snap the ball into whatever his name's hands. He's gonna take 3 steps back and he's gonna take a knee.
Yeah.
They didn't get it. So now they're going to run this clock down to about 1 second or whatever, use their last timeout, and then they're going to roll Mac Jones out, and he's going to throw the ball out of bounds.
Yeah.
We got to see Brady do a similar thing this year where he actually threw the ball out of bounds 3 times in a row on just like a short out to Giovanni Bernard. Now it's showing all the clocks at 00. That's probably just a visual glitch thing, yeah. even with one, if there's 1 second on the clock, they can actually just take a knee. Like, this game is done. You can't.
Yeah.
It's impossible to do anything but end this game.
They just do exactly what you just did. It doesn't even matter if you fumble it and they recover it. The other team recovers as long as they don't recover for a touchdown.
Yeah. Well, that's ball game for Patriots. So what was
Wow.
Well, there's 2 field goals, I believe, in the second half. That's it. Because it was, what, 11-7 at the half? What was the final score? Sorry, 14.
14-10.
10? Okay. Check mark for Mickey. 2-0 tonight, so that's nice after a rough weekend. Patriots winning.
Jones under 28.5 attempt.
That's a cash. Cash only, no checks, is someone would have said in the chat. Well, I guess that's it. Like, what else? Oh, the only other thing is Mud would have won the contest because Corey and him finished 10-4, and Mud closest to the pin with the OU of 45. So congrats, Mud, for winning the contest this week. And yeah, they're showing kicks from pregame. Oh, wow. Holy. Your AFC leading Patriots. Yeah, congrats, Mud. Are they they're showing the opening kickoff, the one that went into, holy crap, it did go into like the 8th, 9th row. Hell of a game. Yeah, this is Fat Guy and I love these kind of games. I
absolutely do. It was great.
Cuz think about, like, I'm sure like so much planning goes into all these games by the coaches, but like in a game like this, like when, you know, not everything's going to be as normal as it is normally, it makes for very, very interesting, a very, very interesting game. Did Harris get hurt? I don't even remember him playing
he did.
the second half.
He did.
That's unfortunate. That's like they don't need him, but he's just a nice guy for them to have. This was a fun game. I think it's fun because a few of us won, but it was an interesting game to watch, that's for sure. But that's it, I guess, right, Fat Guy? That's it for us.
Yeah, I guess so. I feel like I went out with a whimper. Can't always fill the dead air.
It is what it is. Thanks for joining, guys.
Cheers.